Hi, so are you looking to increase your followers? Make sure you subscribe to unlock my tweet.
Yo, you looking to increase the size of your egg roll?
Buy my merchandise, please! Looking to transition into another woman? Oh, God! For Palestine! So I'm taking that as a no!
Liberals against Trump! Donate to Bill!
Buy some shitty coffee and support my page!
Support Biden 2024!
How the fuck are you guys? Hi, how you going, mate? Good to see you. I hope you've had a good weekend. I hope that you've spent some lovely time with your family. I've had a couple of hippie friends around, so I've put my flowers on tonight. Oh, fucking hell, old communists, mate. We infiltrate everyone. Fucking everyone. I'm infiltrating the hippies now. Love them. What a great mob of people, mate. Listen, guys, I want to talk about this Beck Freedom's post and some of the kerfuffle it's caused over this farmers stuff, and I want to try and go through a few things if I can, okay? I don't want to make things personal. Jesus, I keep getting into a lot of trouble. Look, when I was asked, and I'd already done an upload on this, when I was asked about the farmers stuff and people rang me a week or so ago or more and said, look, you know, are you going to go down, and you know, what's your opinion of it and stuff like that. I've already reported that no, I'm not going down. I've got another commitment to do a public speaking event up in Gympie with some farming people and some local people up there, and I think one of the senior organising guys from the Gympie Muster is going to come along. So I'm going up there to have a chat to them and you know, forge some new relationships. Okay, so I can't be in two places at once. I can't travel that distance, and so I'm not going. And what I've said to people, I said, look, I'm flying blind. I don't know who's behind it. I don't know who the speakers are. I haven't got a clue. And I said to them, look, if I went down, I'd said to them, if you want to support, go. I mean, I mean, I'm not here. I've only ever insisted, guys, just to be allowed to engage in the conversation, mate. That's all I've ever done. I'm not trying to build anything. I'm not trying to influence you. You make your own minds up. I have enough trouble living my miserable life, okay, taking care of my little Jack Russell dog here, little Trumpy, okay. I don't have the resources, I don't have the wherewithal to try and live anyone else's life. So you make your own minds up. I'm just giving you my sort of opinion. And I said, look, if you're going to go down there, you know, go down there. Don't cause trouble. Whatever you do, don't go down there and cause any trouble or anything. You know, go down there. And I said, check out the speakers, check out who's behind it, look for any agendas, and so on and so on. Now, why would I say that? Well, I've also been posting for a while now, right, about the heavy infiltration that the Australian Freedom and Truther movement has. I mean, we've got bad actors inside of our movement that are continually trying to hijack it, right? So that's why I say that, right? Be a little bit mindful. Now, I've since, you know, found out from listening to Stop the Rot, Dave Guru, and by the way, mate, Dave's show, him and Kaz, is getting better and better. Congratulations, Dave and Kaz. You're working hard, trying to improve and lifting your game, and it's coming through. You can see it. I spent some time, over an hour or so today, on the Twitter or X space, listening to Dave and Rick and a lot of the Canadian and American truckers over there. So, and it was great. I couldn't spend a lot of time there. I had other visitors and other stuff I had to take care of. But good show, Dave, and keep it up. You know, you're not just a pretty face. Seriously, mate, you don't have a pretty face. Listen, let's get back to business. Look. Now, I now know, I've now had a look at what's going on with this stuff, and I'm now going to give you my uptake on it all, right, okay? Look, one, This is not a farmers' protest, mate. It's just not. Okay, just about I don't know, 70%, 80% of all the speakers are all the political class, mate. All of them. Pauline Hanson, you know, yeah, you know, that idiot Craig Kelly and you know, Babbitt and all the rest of these fucking political clowns, mate. This is not an organic farmers' protest. It's bullshit, mate. It's bullshit. Okay, now I'm going to tell you what I think's going on here. Look, the same people, right? The same group, the same faction, the same group of operatives, right? That torpedoed Canberra 2 years ago because that was organic, started off organic, and it was huge. It was huge, right? The same people that torpedoed that and made sure that it didn't go anywhere and disabled it and made sure it became impotent are the same people that are up on this stage now claiming to represent farmers. And I'll tell you why they're doing it, right? They know that there's huge public opinion out there supporting those French farmers and the other European farmers as well, right? They know that, right? They scan social media and all that like everyone else does, so they get that. But they're also worried that someone else may call for a farmers' protest, and you know it gets out of hand real quick because they're not controlling it. So they're trying to front run this. That's what they're trying to do. The same group of people that torpedoed Canberra are now trying to make sure that there is no organic farmer protest rebellion here in Australia. Same people, mate. Okay, the gatekeepers, all fucking gatekeepers, and you know. So would I support them now? No, I wouldn't even consider it, mate. I don't care if you go. It's your life. Your life. I don't care, man. I'm not trying to run anybody. I'm just trying to participate in a conversation, and I'm asking you to give me a fair go. You do that, man, I will work and give you a fair go, whether we agree or not. I think that's fair. But right now, man, looking at who the speakers are, the organisers and all that sort of stuff, and the purpose of it. The purpose of it is not to help the farmers, mate. It's to front run it. That's what Freemasons do. They front run things. When they know something may come out, either information or some whatever, they try to front run, get ahead of it, right? To make sure that they lead it and they control it, right? And that's what Canberra next Tuesday is all about, okay? Nothing else, nothing else. They're not there to help any farmers at all, in my opinion. I mean, fucking hell, mate. If you can't see this, guys, it's so obvious, mate. It's the same group of factional operators, okay, that they are all tied into. Remember how I said, mate, that what you'll see is individuals, right, all looking like they're working independently, but in reality, all coordinated, mate. And again, if you look behind what's going on down in Canberra, you'll see Mike McCabe, you'll see these back-end operators, the election fixers, and all the other bullshit artists, mate. So it's not organic, and it's full of the same piss ants, mate. Full of the same piss ants that torpedoed Canberra. Okay. Now, I'm going to tell you why, mate, I've got big problems with some of these people, okay? I'm telling you, gatekeepers, right? Look, again, I've done an upload, and as a matter of fact, have been reported in corporate media, The Guardian and elsewhere, you know, 3 or 4 weeks ago. Pauline Hanson and, you know, James Ashby and that One Nation mob are up, you know, chowing down on, I don't know, $90 a kilo Wagyu steak, class 9 Wagyu steak that Gina Reinhardt fronted up, and they're all sitting down having a fundraiser and chowing down on you know, top quality Wagyu steak, right? So, look, One Nation is a Gina Reinhardt operation. That's now clear, right? One Nation is not you know, looking after some dairy cow milker or something like that, mate. They're in with, you know, the billionaire farmers. That's what they're courting that side of it, okay? And Gina Reinhardt, I mean, you know, she does a huge business with China. You know, her mining and pastoral interests. She bought the Kidman empire, you know, that cattle grazing. I mean, she's got hundreds of thousands of heads of cattle, and a lot of it goes overseas to China. So she's tied up with the Chinese pretty heavily. Now, Clive Palmer's the same. Clive Palmer does a lot of business with China, mate. I mean, he's had court cases with them as well, right? And they've called each other names. I mean, Clive Palmer come out and called them a bunch of bloody, you know, a bunch of thugs and, you know, all this sort of shit. And 8 days later, he's issued a public apology, you know. Don't put shit on the comms, Clive. You'll, you know, So Clive's kissing up to the Chinese Communist Party, mate, and he's a captive of that operation. Okay. Now, if that's the case, right, these billionaires are tied into China and all the rest of it. Now, go across and look at Paul Keating. Now, Paul Keating's on the board of the, Chinese Communist Chinese Central Development Bank. Okay, he's on the board there, right? So, do you think that Gina Reinhardt and Palmer are going to say and do anything to upset Comrade Paul, who's sitting on the board of the Chinese bank and is tied right in with the Chinese communists, right? No way are they going to ask questions, say anything, or do anything, right? Now, that is, I don't think I'm being too adventurous there, mate. That's how this circle works, okay? And so if you think about it, what chance do you think there's any discussion going to come out about Jeffrey Epstein and, Paul Keating's daughter hanging around with Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell and Paul Keating's indiscretions and so on? I mean, there's no fucking chance, that that's going to be raised by Palmer, right, Clive Palmer, nor are you going to get Gina Reinhardt to go anywhere near that, right? Now, what that means is that there's no way Pauline Hanson, Malcolm Roberts from any of the One Nation, they're going to touch it, right? So you're going to get no disclosure, no revelations. You're going to get nothing out of them. They will shut up tighter than a fish's ass. It'll be watertight. And then when you look at Clive Palmer, and we know that Palmer, controls, Craig Kelly. We know that Palmer controls Tricky, Hoodie, bloody Onigs, and others, right? Okay. So what chance do you think any of these people, are going to talk about Jeffrey Epstein or Paul Keating or, Keating's daughter or anything? There's no chance. I mean, these people are going to guard that gate like bloody Doberman dogs. They don't want this stuff to come out, mate. No way. So, here we are in the truth, the movement, the freedom movement, and the chief operators who are all on the payroll of the billionaire club, right, who don't want to be fried by the Chinese Communist Party and their friends. And one of those friends is Comrade Paul Keating. You get me? That's work this stuff out, folks. You work it out. And if you can't understand what I'm saying, mate, I'm telling you now, you really need another vax. This is so easy. So next Tuesday down in Canberra, mate, they're not farmers. They're all the same crew. And you've got, if you want to know why the farmers are doing it tough, I'm talking the ordinary small family farms, small lot holders, right? It's because of these Freemasons, right, who run all this stuff. And again, go out and look at these country towns. After the floods 2 years ago, I went out to a small town in Baralabar, right? Now, if you own the cops and you own the pub and you own the local shop, that was it, mate. You control that town. There was a town of 200 people. And if they refused to do business with you, right, it was like an extra 100-kilometre drive to go and buy some milk or go and buy some smokes or go and buy a carton of beer. And local people, mate, they can't do that. I mean, that's a huge impost on them to go to another town to buy something local rather than buy it local. And guess who owns the cops and owns the pub and owns the shop? The fucking Freemasons own it. They run that town. And, mate, they're standover merchants. They were standover merchants. Bullies. You shut your mouth and do what you're told, or we will blacklist you. I mean, they talk about the Black Lives Matter and Antifa having the cancel culture. These fucking Freemasons do that 100 times fold. 100 times fold. They terrorise these small communities, mate, who are not part of the Freemasonic Lodge. They fucking terrorise them. They bully them. They bully them. They use them. They threaten them. And in many cases, mate, they also intimidate them by, fucking with their fences, their stock, or in fact where they live. Where they live. And the cops are right in on this. The cops are right in on this, mate. You can forget about law and order up here in Queensland, mate. They just shoot you up here. They've shot more people up here in 1 year than the rest of the Australian police forces combined, including that really lovely guy out at Warwick, mate. Very, very sus, mate. Very sus. And that's not the only one. The other one up further north than that, mate. I'm telling you, the Queensland police stink. They stink, mate. Rotten to the core. I wouldn't trust any of them. None of them. They've all got to go, and we need to elect our own sheriffs and deputies. We've got to get rid of this monolith, this armed militia that they have, this belligerent occupier. So, look, this one next Tuesday, mate, that's who they're representing. That's who they are. A bunch of Freemasons that hang out with the Billionaires Club, right? Palmer, Reinhardt and others. And the Palmer and Reinhardt and others are tied right into Communist China, and other people like Paul Keating, who's on the board of the Chinese Development Bank and stuff like that. Oh, man. This is how they protect each other, mate. This is how they... Has Pauline or Malcolm or anyone ever mentioned Jeffrey Epstein? Have they ever mentioned that? Has Babbitt or any of those mentioned it, right? Have they mentioned Paul Keating and Ghislaine Maxwell and other stuff like that? Paul's daughter? Not a word. Not a word. Has Bosi mentioned it? Has Como John mentioned it? Has Dave Guru mentioned it, mate? We haven't stopped fucking talking about it. And so was over 5,000 subscribers on my channel. They haven't stopped talking about it either. So we all know what's going on, but yet the political class, mate, Zippo, mate, what a fucking racket this is. So I want to come back to Beck, right? I want to come, because Beck, anything I say in my conversation publicly, mate, I say it with love. I don't say it with any animosity whatsoever. We were all young and stupid once, including me. I'm 63, going on 64, and probably am still a bit stupid. But I've made the wrong decisions and all that sort of stuff. So come on, relax, and not only you, Beck, but everyone else, relax. Look, I'm telling you now, Beck. My advice to you and to everyone out there, right? Okay, that's sort of at your entry point on this awakening and what's happening and all the rest. Listen, you don't fully understand the war you're in, sister. No, you don't, because if you fully understood that infiltration and how the Jesuits and Knights of Malta and Freemasons and Vaticans and all these Satanists really worked. I mean, I know that you're aware of how evil they are, but you really don't understand the war you're in, right? Which is why, right, you can't really see some of this stuff, right, about what you're up against. I'm not quite sure whether you really know who the enemy is and understand the enemy, okay? And again, I'm not bagging your system, I'm not having a go. I'm just simply saying that unless you know this sort of stuff, then you're sort of fighting, with one eye, one hand behind your back, because you're not fully appreciative, right, of this war for humanity and the moving pieces that are in it, okay? And that's why you need Bosi. That's why you need Bosi, okay? Full stop. Full stop. If you don't have Bosi, sister, I'm telling you are lambs to the slaughter. Lambs to the slaughter, mate. I can tell you right here and now, mate. If you don't have someone, if it's not Rick, if you don't like Rick, whatever, I don't care, but someone of his caliber, someone of his commitment, right? You don't have someone like that, mate, watching, being like a guard dog, and with that 40,000 view observation post, right? I can tell you now, you are going to be, you'll get slaughtered by these operators. I mean, it's easy for me, mate, because I'm an old communist, mate. I know all of this shit, mate. I mean, they're clowns to me. They're just lightweight pissant clowns. For me, looking at these clowns, Kelly and Palmer and Reinhardt and One Nation, all the rest, it's like reading a comic book to me. It's almost funny. It's like a joke. They are so fucking easy to read for me. And they are shitting themselves, mate, shitting themselves. Loss of control. They saw the European farmers mobilised and they said, shit, if we don't do something. And the other thing, mate, you've got to be aware of, it was Como John that was making lots of phone calls over the last couple of weeks to lots of farmers. I'm out there saying, what are you doing? What are you doing? The French and the Brits and, the Italian farmers and that, mate, are you guys going to have a go? I'll come in and help you. If you want someone to be a spokesperson, I'll come and help you. So I wouldn't mind betting some of that was getting back into their fucking ear. Holy fuck, Como John's into the farmers. And they had to front run it, mate. They had to front run it. And that's what they're doing. Remember, it's the same forces next Tuesday that were the same forces that totally and utterly torpedoed Canberra, right? And so that you know how seriously I treat that. Every vax damaged person, every death, anyone that's lost their jobs from in the last 2 years, I lay it at their feet. I lay it because we could have stopped all of that 2 years ago in Canberra. We had them by the short and curlies, and they torpedoed it, right? Okay, all about control, all about making sure that they were able to come out of this on top. They know the reset's coming. They know it's coming. They know the two-party political system is finished. They know that the preference deals and all that stuff is going to go. They understand all that, right? They know there's going to be an economic reset. They know there's going to be central banks and other stuff are going to get trashed, and there's going to be a whole new quantum financial system. They understand all of this stuff. That's how Freemasons and secret societies have been playing this for 1,000 years, where they have inside knowledge on certain truths that we have no knowledge of, and so they were able to outplay us. And they're still playing that longhand game. Okay, so I see next Tuesday is it's a token protest. It is a protest that's full of the political class, and if you trust any of them in there, and I don't want to be too hard on individuals. Look, I just think Craig Kelly is just a fucking joke, right? I really do. I think Malcolm Roberts is batting for the wrong team, right? By way of being a gatekeeper. But Malcolm is certainly anti-World Economic Forum, anti-United Nations, anti-World Health Organization, and so on. So, in part, he seems to be, saying all the right things and doing all the right things, and he should be congratulated for that. But we're now getting to the business end of this war front, mate. We're now getting to the real business end. And if he's not going to talk about Jeffrey Epstein, if he's not going to talk about, Paul Keating and his daughter, that means, he's not going to be talking about other stuff. And insofar as Babbitt and these other fucking clowns, I mean, what do they ever say about the Clinton Foundation? Do they ever raise anything and ask questions about the Clinton Foundation? Not a fucking word. Not a word. A huge child trafficking, money laundering organisation. The Australian occupying belligerent occupier government, right, has dished out fucking tens and tens. We were, I think, the highest donating country until Hillary didn't win, and then all of a sudden it stopped, right? And so, have they spoken one word about any of this stuff? Has Como John spoken about it? Has Rick Bosi spoken about it? Has Dave Guru spoken about it? Has Tricky? Has Hoodie? Has Onyx? Any of them? Any of them? They said one word about any of this? See what I mean, folks? You know, I mean, look, Malcolm. I know Malcolm works very hard, mate, very hard. I follow and track, you know, his stuff. I mean, he does a lot of miles, goes right out of his way to reach. He's trying to get rid of the National Party, and he's also trying to capture the union base as well. He's done a lot of work for casual coal miners who are getting ripped off. The union done a grub deal, the coal miners union. And, you know, he's done a lot of good work on this front, right? But it's not good enough, mate. It's just not good enough. I mean, you know, we are run by a belligerent occupation that is just full of child traffickers, pedophiles. You know, I mean, you know, people that endorse organ harvesting, satanic practices. I mean, look at the, you know, the sex romp shit that was going up there in the chapel and on some senator's desk and all this sort of stuff. I mean, fuck. I mean, they are just debauched, and that's not an anomaly. What these clowns did, it's the norm. It's the norm. I mean, you know, allegations of, you know, women getting raped. I mean, I don't want to get into who's wrong. I couldn't fucking care. You know what I mean? It's been dealt with now. But serious questions have been, you know, left and well, over all this sort of stuff. But look, Beck, if you don't really understand the war you're in, and that's totally forgivable and it's totally understandable, mate. You're a young woman, you're trying to raise children and all the rest of it, mate. And God bless you. God bless you. Takes a lot out of your day doing that stuff, and I'll never criticise any of the women in this war, mate. They have been the ones that have sacrificed unbelievable levels of sacrifice, and I love them. I love them all. But Beck, you know, you need Bosi, mate, and instead of, you know, being suspicious of him or critical of him, mate, you ought to have a little bit more faith. That's that. Now, insofar as this guy that's done the upload, I don't know who this guy is, right? I don't know. Whether he's genuine or not, but let's assume he's genuine, right? Let's assume he's not a stooge, right? And I don't mean to, you know, but I've got to think like this, right? Look, did you know, MacArthur, you know, when he was doing all of his, you know, war efforts, or Patton, right, generals, you know, all the high-ranking military people, did they tell the privates all the war plan and what was going on? No, they didn't. They just shut your mouth and fucking do your job. You know, just do your job. The generals do their job, and they war game and they plan, and then they allocate resources and all the rest of it, and then they issue the instructions further down the line. Now, Rick hasn't got a military, right, but he's got that background, okay, and quite frankly, you know, given all of the enemies that are circling Australia One and circling Rick, I mean, they're waiting. It's not one or two, mate. There is a fucking posse out there, a heap of them that have no other purpose but to take him down. You got me? I mean, he's got to be discreet. He's got to keep his own counsel. You know, I have conversations with Rick and Rhiannon every now and then, right? Not regularly or anything like that. And there's plenty of things that I don't tell them about what fingered in the pie where I'm in, right? Because you know, I'm an old com. We don't disclose. We play our cards to our chest. And Rick's the same. I mean, he's a professional man. He's a pro. And he's got to keep his cards close to his chest. He's got to be discreet. He's got to watch what he says and how he says it, right? You know, and if he gets one word wrong, or if he's had a long fucking day's work, 20 hours, and he doesn't quite, you know, pull the right face, you know what I mean? He's tired, or he gets a bit cranky and drops a swear word. Oh, fucking hell, what a drama. What a drama. Never ends. I mean, don't come onto my fucking channel, mate. I'll turn your hair blue. I've got my own John. Oh, what can you expect, mate? I'm just an old commo. Who listens to old commos? So look, Beck, calm down, sis. Calm down. And please, everyone else out there, man, listen. I don't think we should be burning each other over this stuff. We should be learning from it. You know, come on. I mean, if a mistake or mistakes are made, or, you know, there's been a misunderstanding or whatever, let's not kick the shit out of each other and burn each other to the stake. And that's not necessary. Let's all of us try and learn, right, and sort of get better at what we're doing, right? Because ultimately, you know, I'm hoping we're all fighting on the one team. You know, we're all batting for our team, and we're not batting for theirs, right? And I'd hate to see anyone, you know, through a mistake or a misunderstanding or a miscommunication or whatever, right? All of a sudden, you know, turns into some big fight, right? No need for that. So, Beck, please, calm down. Tell this truckie or whatever he is that put his thing out, just tell him to shut his fucking mouth and fuck off, mate, okay? I mean, you know, in the unions, mate, if you think I used to tell a scaffolder or a dogman all of my game plan when I'm going into big strikes and all the rest of it, mate, I mean, you got to be kidding. You got to be kidding. I mean, I don't like democracy and all this shit, mate. I love tyranny, as long as I'm the fucking tyrant. But, you know, if I'm not the tyrant, then freedom, freedom. But I never used to tell anyone, mate. I mean, I had an executive, a committee of management, an executive, and they were included in all of the key decisions and you know, the inner workings of the union. But we were all sworn to secrecy, mate. We wouldn't go out and tell anyone. We would tell our members, right, this is the fight, this is the strike, this is what we're after, right? And we want you, right, to take action. This is the action that we recommend you take. And, you know, that was it. That was it, yes or no. You know, there was no big in-depth analysis, and we didn't tell them what was going on inside our mind, what our you know, what our claim was, but what our B position was and stuff. We didn't talk anything like that. That was all kept up here with me. I carried all of that, and I told no one. You just had to have faith. The membership just had to have faith that you know, you know, I was doing my job properly. I mean, many times, mate, I would ring a union delegate up on a project, on a big construction site somewhere, and I'd say, listen, I need this particular contract. He's coming onto your job. There's a problem, and he's out. He's not. I don't want him on our job, right? Don't unload his truck. I tell my crane drivers, don't unload his truck. Don't allow his gear on the job, and tell him to fuck off. And they'd ask me why. So look, it's too long a story. I've got to go in for a court appearance or something like that before the Industrial Relations Commission. Just do that, and I'll come down tomorrow and tell you why. Okay, so my blokes is to just do it. Just do it. Yep, you want us to do that. That's the guy. You want him out. Da da da. Okay, we'll do it. And you drop down and let us know later on, tomorrow or the day after, and tell us why we had to do it. Okay, that's the way it was. They had faith and trust in what I was doing, and confidence in me. All right, that's how it worked. And I think that's the way you've got to work with Rick. I think, you know, you've got to have confidence in him, mate. Because I'm telling you now, seriously, to Beck and all the A1 people, man, if you don't have someone of Rick's caliber watching your back, right? I'm telling you now, guys, the inexperience that you have, and I don't mean to be critical, but I mean this very seriously, mate. You will be lambs to the slaughter. You'll end up getting yourselves into a lot of trouble. You're lucky to have Bosi, right? You're lucky to have him. Just saying. I mean, more broadly in the war efforts, and I mean, I'm not an A1 person. I'm not activist. You know, but I love the A1 family, mate. I think they're perhaps the most educated and disciplined and patient group of people I've seen in this war so far. I mean, there's a lot of other hit and misses out there, but these guys, you know, I think quality assets, and I think Rick and Rihanna are lucky to have them. Okay, they're lucky. The membership are lucky that Rick's on, you know, part of their team, and I think Rick and Rihanna are lucky that they're part of Rick's team as well. I think that cuts both ways. But to everyone else out there, come on, let's not overplay all this. I don't think it's necessary. You know, let's learn from it. That's what I hope. I hope it's just been a misunderstanding. That's what I hope. Okay, and I hope there's no need for us to, you know, make it any bigger than it need be. Okay, there's been you know, there's been a little bit of few crosswords thrown around, and okay, these things happen. Let's lick our wounds and keep going. Okay, we got some kids to save. Thank you, guys. Much love to you. Tried to love yous all, but couldn't quite get there. But I loved as many as I could. Happy Sunday, folks. Oh, listen, before I go, listen. Next Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Queensland, I think that's 8 p.m. New South Wales time, I have an interview with Rick Bosi on the Green Room. Okay, not quite sure all of the ground that we'll cover. I'm certain we will talk about the protest in Canberra with the Freemason farmers. I mean, what a pack of fucking wankers. And don't give me shit about I hate farmers. I mean, fuck off. Fucking that bullshit. Oh, dear oh me. Dear oh me. But we'll probably cover some of that ground, and we'll cover a lot more. It should be a good show, I'm hoping. I mean, I don't really like appearing beside Rick too much, mate. Fuck, he gives me the shits. Every time I fucking line up beside Bosi, I mean, he looks like James Bond, and I look like fucking Abbott and Costello. If this keeps going, mate, I'm gonna break a promise. I'm gonna do a crowdfunding for Como John so I can go and get a fucking facelift. See you guys. Have a great day. Ciao.